Hi everybody, and welcome back to So Alexa. I am so happy you're here to learn how to make this long sleeve simple top. I made mine in 5 different colors so I can have something to wear all the time and so that my wardrobe can be consistent and simple and easy. And that is what this top is. It is simple and easy. And before we get into this tutorial, I definitely wanted to share a little bit of background for this top. It's not just one pattern. I used 2 separate patterns for this, so I wanted to note that, and I will link that in the description box just so you can know. But the patterns that I use a pattern, the name is Aura pattern, for the front and the back piece, including the neckbands. And then for the sleeves, I use Indie pattern. And I really like the sleeves from Indie pattern because they were very long. I have long arms, and I need something that can go this length if I want to, or I can just pull it up to that length. This is one of the tops that I made. So if you want to make this top, you will need 2 yards of a stretchy fabric. I use Lycra. Lycra is extremely stretchy and it's very, very comfortable. The Lycra fabric that I use, there's no right or wrong side. They're both the same on each side. So in the video, you might hear me saying put right sides together. That's if you have a fabric that has a definite right and wrong side. But for this video, just so I could stay consistent, because there's no right or wrong side, I just put a straight pin on the side that's considered the right side, just so I can make sure I'm staying on track. I washed the fabric before I started to sew, just to prevent shrinking. Once I sewed it, I don't want to wash it and now it's too small. So I definitely washed it. I washed it in like a delicate setting and then I air dried it. Also for this project, I did make this top double lined. So just keep that in mind when you're following this tutorial. I did cut out 2 front pieces, 2 back pieces, 4 pieces for the arms, and then just 1 neckband. So just if you see a lot of pieces, it's because I double lined this fabric. I think just lined with the Lycra, it was pretty thin and I wanted to look a little bit more polished and something that I could wear to work and dress up. And just be thicker. We were in the colder months. We are transitioning into spring, so I needed something that was going to be a little bit thicker. This is a complete optional step, so if that's something you want to do, great, follow that. If that's not, that is your choice, but just wanted to note that. Here are the pieces I cut out for this project. I cut out 2 front pieces, 2 back pieces, 4 sleeve pieces, and 1 collar, aka neckband. Starting with the sleeves, I went to the center front of the armhole and made a notch there. And that notch will be aligning with the shoulder seam when it's time for me to sew. I also made a notch at the curvier part of the armhole, and that's just to remind me that that is the front of the sleeve. Always important to note that if your pattern doesn't have this marking, the front of the armhole is curvier than the back. Right sides together, lay the sleeve pieces on top of each other, and you want to sew the cuff. This project, you can use any stretch stitch or a serger. I'm using a zigzag stitch with a 2.0 stitch length and a tension of 4. Sewing the cuff of the sleeve. I'm doing this step because I personally am just not the biggest fan of hemming stretchy fabrics. I'd rather have a seamless hem versus the traditional way. So this is why I'm doing this step. And once you're done with this sleeve, you want to repeat for the other sleeve. And once we're done sewing the cuffs of our sleeves, we want to move on to the front pieces. The next step is similar to what we did to the sleeves. We want to put the right sides of the fabric together for the front pieces and sew the bottom closed. So we're going to do that for our front piece and repeat the same steps for the back pieces. Now you want to turn the front and back pieces right side out. With the right sides facing each other, you want to place the front and back pieces together at the shoulders. With all 4 layers together, you want to sew the front and back pieces at the shoulder seams. Cut off some of that excess fabric from the cuff and then turn the sleeve right side out. Instead of setting the sleeves using the traditional method, I'm going to use the flat sleeve insertion method. This method is common and easier for casual wear. Lay the sleeve flat against the armhole with right sides together. Match the center sleeve notch to the shoulder seam, then pin from the center outward. Here I'm aligning the ends of the sleeve and the ends of the armhole, and I'm just marking that with pins. You can pin the entire thing if you want. I just did the ends because it's easier for me, and when I sew, I'll just ease any of that fullness at the curves. Once we have both sleeves attached to the armholes, we want to sew the side seam and sleeve seam in one continuous line. Definitely want to make sure that the seams are aligned before you sew. So I just align the seams and then I stick a pin right there just to keep it in place for when I sew in that one continuous line. You can definitely finish the raw edges of this shirt with a serger or a zigzag stitch if you want a more professional look. Now that the sleeves and the sides are closed, it is time to work on the collar. Take the collar piece or the neckband and place the short edges together and sew. Fold the collar in half lengthwise with right sides together, making sure that the raw seams are hidden. The collar will now create a double layered band. Divide the neckband or the collar into 4 equal sections. So I did that by measuring the entire neckband and then divided that by 4. What I ended up getting was 4.75 inches. So from the middle part of the center back of the neckband, I measured 4.75 inches into 4 equal spots. And I just marked that using a washable marker. You can use a disappearing ink pen that's for fabric, but I just had this one close by, so I used my washable marker. Next, you want to divide the neckline of the shirt into 4 sections. You want to have a front center, a back center, and then we have the 2 shoulder seams that are also points. Align the collar's raw edges with the neckline's raw edges, matching the quarter marks with the 4 sections of the neckline. I am going to tack the 4 spots down with the basting zigzag stitch, and then from there I'm going to sew the entire collar onto the neckline. The basting of those spots will allow me to make sure that my fabric doesn't shift when I'm sewing the collar on. And that's it. That long sleeve knit top is very, very easy to make. It's very simple. I absolutely love this top. I think it's the cutest thing. It's very sleek and it just goes with anything. You can dress it up and dress it down. I made it in that cream color as well as a black. I also made it in a charcoal gray, a brown, a sage green, and a pink. Thank you so much for watching this video and check out my other tutorials. Until next time.